Time now for some roundtable action. Joining us this evening is editor-in-chief and Chiefs writer for Arrowhead Pride, Pete Sweeney. Pete, thanks so much for coming in. Obviously, a lot coming up with this preseason game. What do the Chiefs need to get accomplished Saturday night?
I think it's the beginning of some of these roster battles. And the Chiefs are a Super Bowl team, so they don't have really a ton of roster battles for the starting position, unless you consider tight end 2 a starting position. Maybe the free safety, Juan Thornhill versus Daniel Sorensen. I think Thornhill is looking to maybe get that starting job. But some of these end-of-the-line position battles, cornerbacks, like a 6th wide receiver, a 6th cornerback, and they get their time to shine in the first preseason game when the starters, they won't play that much.
How critical is it that they get the backups ready to play when you look at how deep a run they hope to make this year?
Yeah, you know what? The only certainty there is in the NFL is that they're going to be injuries. And so depth is key. Sometimes you lose guys, and it could be just for a few games. So to get some of these backups ready, the preseason's huge because it might not be till week 7 or week 8 until they see action again. So you got to get that work in now.
Pete, when you look around the AFC West, and we'll begin with the San Diego Chargers, or pardon me, the LA Chargers, they have no fans, right? Because they play in LA and nobody cares. They also might not have a running back. They got a situation out there. They don't know when they're going to get their stud running back, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, 100%. I do like the backup they have there in Austin Eckler, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a dip. And it's been interesting in the NFL. I think running backs in general looked at right now as replaceable. So, again, different circumstances, but the Chiefs lose Kareem Hunt. Damian Williams comes in down the stretch last season, and the Chiefs didn't really blink.
How good are the Chargers? Could they win the division?
You know, I think they'll be right there with the Chiefs once again. It's going to be neck and neck, and it'll be interesting as they play toward the end of the season. You have that Mexico City battle. You mentioned how the Chargers don't get fans in their soccer stadium, in their place. I think it's actually a disadvantage that the Chiefs have to go to Mexico City because the fans might be even a little bit more even down there. Chargers will be right there, but again, the Chiefs always have that home field advantage. The Chargers do not.
All right, Denver is like that character in a horror movie that you expect sooner or later is going to spring to life and scare the heck out of you. They're putting all their chips on quarterback Joe Flacco, whom they got from Baltimore this season. Do Chiefs fans have any reason to fear the Broncos?
I think the defense is always good in Denver. They always have Von Miller. They challenged the Chiefs on that Monday Night Football game last year. I personally do not believe in Joe Flacco. I think he's at the end of his career. That's why he was replaced with a guy who really couldn't throw last year in Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. And so I don't think the Broncos really are going to give the Chiefs anything to worry about.
And let's turn to the Raiders. I want to say Oakland Raiders. I don't know if the people out there really consider them the Oakland Raiders. Everybody knows they're going to be the Las Vegas Raiders coming up. Are they a team that could actually make a run? Does anything about that football team scare you?
I think the Raiders will be better than the Broncos. I think they end up finishing 3rd in this division. They got Antonio Brown, the stars now of Hard Knocks. That'll be interesting to watch as well. And I think John Gruden is leading them in the right direction. They brought in Mike Mayock. They have a lot of young players, 3 first-rounders this year. Josh Jacobs comes to mind as a guy that might give the Chiefs some trouble. So when you're talking about first place in division, I think it's between the Chiefs and the Chargers. The Raiders are probably another year or two from really, I think, providing any competition when it comes to winning the AFC West.
Pete, when Danny and I went to the Combine this last offseason, a number of the AFC West coaches and GMs talked about matching up against Andy Reid and his offense, saying we've got to find a way defensively to match up with what they do with Patrick Mahomes and all those talented receivers and running backs. When you look at what they've been scheming, are you worried at all about the Chiefs' ability to have offensive success like they had a year ago?
Well, Andy Reid will be the first person to tell you that the NFL I'm talking about now has a year of tape on Patrick Mahomes. The thing is Patrick Mahomes keeps on building and getting better. This year, he worked on his pocket presence, some of his footwork, maybe not going out of structure, which means if a play breaks down, leaving the pocket too soon. I think Patrick Mahomes is improving with the rest of the NFL. And you have that second rounder in Mecole Hardman, who really has surprised me at training camp. I think he'll be an offensive contributor week 1, and I didn't necessarily think that on draft night.
Pete, if they go to the website Arrowhead Pride, what are they going to see today?
So we got a notebook all throughout training camp reporting on everything that's happening if you can't make it to St. Joseph. I most recently released my second version of the 53-man roster, the 53 players I think will be Chiefs on cut down day. So plenty to check out at arrowheadpride.com.
All right, Pete, you're halfway home. You got the jacket, but you're following Tom Martin on the shirts. I mean, he wears golf shirts. You got to do better. You got to dress TV,
See,
buddy.
You know, before we got on air, we were talking about college football. I got to represent the Cuse. We have a chance this year. I think they may have an outside chance to sneak into that top 10. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Can they beat Clemson? If they beat Clemson, I'll wear your T-shirt.
The only team that's given Clemson competition in the last 2 years. Don't forget that.
All right, that's Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.